I've been told to journal, and the first thing that I wrote down is when everything fails, you start over again, which is very much a reminder to myself. Even though I really like the effect, the look of the items, I actually don't think that we can move forward with them. We figure out our colorways all together to make sure that we still have a really cohesive collection, but then skip this. I started my bulking journey 20 weeks or so ago, and I failed this bulk at 16 weeks in. With failing, I mean that I stopped going to the gym consistently because of a lot of things that were happening, and I also stopped eating above maintenance, which means that I wasn't gaining weight anymore, and then obviously I also wasn't really training. And I said that I was trying, or I would try to film everything that would happen, all the mundane stuff, the boring stuff. My goal was to film every session, share it with you, and then show how you can really progress in the gym. Those aren't just the two things that I failed in the last months. There are so many things that failed in the last year or so, but there are also so many things that I've learned in the last year. And one thing is a key takeaway that I wanted to share with you because I just think it's such a beautiful lesson to learn. And that lesson is that failing is part of the journey. Because in my eyes, when I say failing or when I think about failing, it's about me not meeting my own expectations. And that also means that in my head, that's like the end. Like, okay, we failed. That's it. Moving on, next thing, it is what it is. But as I said, my main lesson that I learned this year is that it isn't about not failing. It is about how often you need to fail in order to succeed, because failing is in fact a very important part of the entire journey, of the entire process. I would even go as far as saying that you need to fail, because the first phase of business, the first phase of your fitness journey, the first phase in relationships, in so many things in life are about figuring stuff out. It's about figuring out what product you need to make, what people want to see, figuring out how to communicate with people. It's about figuring out who you need to be in order to reach your goals. It's about learning, it's about reiterating, it's about unraveling all these problems and fine-tuning. There is so much that can be learned from failing. The idea is to get better in everything that you are doing or trying to achieve or trying to grow into. That doesn't mean that nothing can go wrong. It is supposed to go wrong. That is part of the journey. And then if you stick with it, if you put in the work, if you keep showing up, even if you fail, you get back on track, then in the end, you'll realize that you'll be able to grow into that person that you need to be in order to succeed. So I failed my bulk. I failed sharing about my bulk. I failed the first samples of the activewear collection. I went in there, I had all these expectations, my hopes were so high. When I saw the products, they weren't that great. I mean, they were great, but they weren't impressive enough that made me fell off my chair, which is what I hoped, the expectations that I had. Obviously, that isn't going to be the case. Obviously, it will be easier to say, you know what, like, screw this, I can't do it, it's too hard, never mind, it's not for me. Obviously, but if you want something that is so amazing, so great, that it will change people's lives, that people will talk about it, they'll be happy about it, then it is supposed to be difficult. If you ask things that are so big, you need to realize that the effort that you need to put in order to get there, in order to become that person, will be equally as large. My camera was overheating. But what I was saying is I've learned so much in the last months, in the last year, and it was all due to failing. Failing and not giving up, because if you don't give up, you cannot lose. It is that cliche what everyone is saying, but it is true, because if you have no plan B, if there's no other option for you, then you'll do everything in your power to make sure that you succeed. And that is my main lesson. And You know, there were moments during these last months, during this last year, where I was so close to doubting myself to the extent that I was just thinking that maybe I can't pull it off. For example, with the app, maybe the project is too complex, it's too big, maybe I'm just not the person to do it. And looking back at that now, I wish that someone would have told me that feeling like that is exactly how you should be feeling, because it is supposed to be difficult. You're trying to figure out what everyone wants, what a good product looks like, what the experience should be like. You are trying to learn at such a rapid pace. And if you just keep doing that, and if that is your sole focus, just trying to improve every single day, then in the end, you'll get there. And that is exactly what happened now. I'm so proud of the product that I have now, and it is not even at 10% of the vision that I have for it, and now we can finally start rolling out very exciting features. If you're ever doubting yourself, or if you are ever unsure, realize that failing is normal. It is part of the journey. You are supposed to fail. There's only one thing left for me to do, and that is to welcome you to the Bulking Journey 2.0, where we're restarting the bulk. We're restarting, trying to document this entire bulking journey. We are just trying every single day to do better. Let's train legs. We are doing the Hourglass program from my app because it is my favorite program to train with. It was so fun the last 16 weeks and I really felt like I made so much progress. But sometimes all you need in life is a fresh start, mentally, physically. So I decided to restart the program. I'm starting at week 1 again, which is honestly very helpful because now I can use the data that I logged in the app and really make sure that I just basically start over again, but with higher weights, with heavier weights. So that is exactly what I'm doing. However, it's a little bit of a twist because as you can see right now, I am doing an exercise for my quads. I'm actually warming up my quads, even though this is not really a warm-up exercise. I have been practicing it a lot, so with the resistance band, it feels like a warm-up exercise for me now. The reason why I'm warming up my quads is because I'm actually doing a quad-focused leg day today, so I am kind of restarting Hourglass, but as I said, with a bit of a twist. The reason why I have the twist is because I am on my cycle, and I just didn't feel like having a barbell on my uterus or anything, but I still wanted to do a good leg day. So quads it is. I'm starting up with the warm-up. I also did the seated leg curl to help with warming up my knees. And then I'm moving on to the first exercise of the day, which is a hack squat, which is great. I should have tried to maybe put a yoga block behind my back. I'll try that next time because as you can see, I barely hit parallel here. And when you train your quads, you really want to make sure that you find that deep stretch. And I'm not really utilizing that to my advantage now just because I am too short for this machine. So next time I'll try it with a yoga block behind my back and see if that helps. Then we're moving on to leg extensions. If you really want to build your quads, leg extensions are great, especially because it doesn't really load up that much on your spine at all because it's an isolation exercise, but you can go pretty heavy with this exercise. So I actually wanted to prioritize it with this workout. Therefore, I'm having it as the second exercise for today. And then, spoiler alert, we're doing leg press. And as a unilateral exercise, I'm doing a split squat in the Smith machine. The app has been doing really well. And as I said, now we're finally in a position where we can add exciting features, exciting things, just because we don't have to focus on improving the performance and the stability of the app anymore. Obviously, we'll keep making sure that it keeps performing, but now we can also venture out and edit and add all the other ideas that we have. So what we have been doing in the last months is all the feedback that we have received, we added it as tickets to the backlog, and every time that we plan a sprint, so our next 3 weeks, what we'll do is we'll refer to the backlog and then add any relevant things in our current sprint that we can do to make sure that we really mold this app into the product that the community would love to see too. One of the main things that we received is that people would love to have the option to also train from home. I actually recorded all the home exercises back in November because I was under the impression that we could already roll out home in December, which obviously did not happen. But therefore, I already had it. I was just waiting for us to be able to roll it out, and we're finally there. So that's my little secret. We'll be launching home probably this week. It still needs to be approved, like the app version by the App Store, which can take a little bit of time. So it's kind of dependent on that. And then I wanted to tease it out on social before I actually start rolling it out. But I just wanted to give a little bit of a heads up here. In case you make it to the end of this video, then I feel like you deserve a little bit of a secret. So that should be rolling out very soon, which is something that I'm so excited for because I want to be able to give the tools that allow you to move your body anywhere at any time and not just in the gym. So stay tuned for the review, but thank you so much for watching this video. I'm editing it now and recording a new one, so I'll hopefully see you in the next one.